Welcome to our show, Immigration Briefing. Today, we dive into the tangled web of Australia's immigration policies, where it seems universities and businesses have taken the reins, leading to a chaotic situation with a projected migration shortfall. The government's inability to set clear immigration targets is raising eyebrows, especially as housing demand skyrockets amid rising net migration. Next, we turn our attention to the UK, where a new policy denying citizenship to refugees arriving illegally has sparked outrage among union leaders and faith representatives. Critics argue that this move could deepen divisions within communities and undermine the sense of belonging for refugees. As tensions rise, the call for a more welcoming approach to integration grows louder. Lastly, we explore the political drama unfolding in New York City, where the Roosevelt Hotel has become a focal point in the immigration debate. With accusations of corruption and concerns about safety, Mayor Eric Adams finds himself in a precarious position as he navigates the complexities of immigration enforcement in a sanctuary city. This situation raises significant questions about governance and public safety. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage. Australian Broadcasting Corporation reports a significant shift in Australia's immigration landscape, where universities and businesses are regaining control over the migration program. Following the blocking of new student visa cap legislation, there has been a surge in offshore higher education visas, setting a record for approvals. However, the government's forecasts for net overseas migration appear overly optimistic, with a projected shortfall in housing that could exacerbate the existing crisis. The government has set a housing target of 1.2 million dwellings over 5 years, but without a corresponding immigration target, the likelihood of meeting these goals seems slim. The construction industry is struggling to keep pace with demand, leading to a potentially larger housing shortfall as immigration continues to rise unchecked. BBC highlights the backlash against the UK government's new policy that bans refugees arriving via small boats from obtaining citizenship. This policy has drawn criticism from unions, faith leaders, and charities, who argue it fosters division and distrust within communities. In a letter to the Home Secretary, signatories emphasize that citizenship should symbolize safety and belonging, rather than a punitive measure against those fleeing perilous situations. The Home Office asserts that these measures are merely an enhancement of existing rules, yet critics warn that labeling refugees as second-class individuals only serves to deepen societal rifts and fuel far-right sentiments. The letter calls for a more welcoming approach to refugees, advocating for their integration into British society. The Sydney Morning Herald examines Peter Dutton's political history and the implications of his recent comments regarding citizenship and race politics. As Dutton seeks to present a more favourable image ahead of elections, questions arise about the relevance of his past actions and policies, particularly his tenure as Home Affairs Minister. His recent remarks on the need for accountability in citizenship applications reflect a broader narrative that intertwines welfare and immigration, potentially inciting resentment among voters. The article underscores the importance of media scrutiny in holding politicians accountable for their historical stances, especially in a politically charged environment where race and immigration remain contentious issues. Dutton's past rhetoric and policies are seen as part of a consistent pattern that may influence his approach in the upcoming election campaign. South China Morning Post reports on a tragic stabbing incident in Villach, Austria, where a 14-year-old boy lost his life and 5 others were injured, prompting authorities to label it an Islamist attack. The attacker, a 23-year-old Syrian asylum seeker, was said to have been radicalized online in a short period. During the attack, he used a folding knife to assault passers-by until he was stopped by a fellow Syrian food deliverer who intervened by ramming his car into the assailant. The incident has sparked fears among local residents about safety and the vetting of asylum seekers, with calls for increased scrutiny and mass screenings of individuals from specific backgrounds. The attack, occurring just days after a similar violent incident in Germany, has reignited debates on immigration and security in Austria, where a significant Syrian refugee population resides. Nikkei Asia discusses the Philippines' struggle to regain Chinese tourist numbers following espionage arrests that have dampened the atmosphere for potential visitors. The country has seen a dramatic drop in Chinese tourists since the COVID-19 pandemic, with only 310,000 arrivals in 2024 compared to over 1.7 million in 2019. Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco expressed concern that while other nations have eased visa restrictions for Chinese travelers, the Philippines has not followed suit. Recent espionage incidents involving Chinese nationals have raised alarms, further complicating efforts to attract visitors from China. In response, the Philippines is shifting its focus to Indian tourists, simplifying visa processes, but remains behind regional competitors like Thailand and Malaysia. The Guardian highlights the political turmoil surrounding New York City's Roosevelt Hotel, which has become a shelter for immigrants and a battleground for political agendas. The hotel is at the center of accusations from Trump's administration, claiming it serves as a base for a Venezuelan gang. This situation has ignited a fierce political struggle between Mayor Eric Adams and Governor Kathy Hochul, with allegations of corruption and political favoritism swirling around Adams as he seeks re-election. The Justice Department's recent move to dismiss corruption charges against him has drawn criticism from both sides of the political spectrum, suggesting a dangerous intersection of law and politics. Amidst this chaos, public dissatisfaction with Adams is growing, particularly concerning crime and public safety, raising questions about his future and the direction of New York City politics. The Sydney Morning Herald highlights that the first month of Donald Trump's second presidency has revealed a troubling set of ideas that challenge the core of American democracy. From radical notions like the U.S. taking ownership of the Gaza Strip to the idea that diversity initiatives caused a tragic aviation accident, Trump's proposals, though alarming, force society to grapple with their implications. This barrage of bad ideas is reminiscent of historical totalitarian regimes, as they create an atmosphere of anxiety that stifles clear thinking and meaningful discourse. The article argues that while Trump's ideas may seem outrageous, they resonate with a segment of the population that feels disillusioned with the current system, emphasizing the need for a robust counter-narrative to reclaim the ideals of democracy. The South China Morning Post reports on the palpable fear among Asian immigrant communities in Los Angeles as they brace for potential mass deportations under Trump's new immigration policies. Community leaders are actively providing "Know Your Rights" training to help immigrants understand their legal protections. The anxiety permeates even among those who are legal residents, as they fear being mistaken for undocumented individuals. The article details how many Asian immigrants, who often work in low-wage jobs, are now more cautious about their daily activities, leading to a decline in participation in community events and even essential services like medical appointments. This heightened sense of vulnerability is a direct consequence of the Trump administration's aggressive stance on immigration, which has left many feeling powerless and fearful. In another report from the South China Morning Post, the uncertain fate of Hong Kongers in the U.S. under Trump's administration is explored, particularly regarding the Deferred Enforced Departure (DED) program initiated by Biden. With Trump's history of revoking protections for various immigrant groups, experts warn that the DED could be next on the chopping block, leading to increased deportations of Hong Kongers. The article outlines the complex process of deportation and the challenges faced by individuals with final orders of removal. The relationship between the U.S. and China plays a significant role in these deportation processes, as Hong Kong's classification as an uncooperative jurisdiction complicates matters further. This precarious situation underscores the broader implications of Trump's immigration policies and their impact on vulnerable communities seeking refuge in the U.S. The Sydney Morning Herald reports on the Albanese government's decision to transfer violent non-citizen criminals, who were recently released into the Australian community, to Nauru. This move comes after a landmark High Court ruling that declared indefinite detention unlawful for individuals who had failed character tests but could not be deported. Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke announced that 3 members of this group, including a convicted murderer, would be the first to receive long-term visas from Nauru. This agreement aims to address safety concerns while allowing the individuals to leave Australia, highlighting the government's commitment to managing the risks associated with their release. In a related update, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation reveals that Nauru has proactively sought to assist in resolving the situation of the NZYQ cohort, a group of non-citizens with histories of violent offences. Minister Burke emphasized that these individuals, now awaiting removal, had their visas cancelled due to their criminal backgrounds. With the prospect of more visas being granted, Burke expressed gratitude towards Nauru for stepping up in a situation that had previously seemed insurmountable. The arrangement includes provisions for the individuals to have a degree of freedom on the island, including work rights, while ensuring they are not indefinitely detained. Meanwhile, the South China Morning Post reviews the film Dreams, starring Jessica Chastain, which explores complex themes around U.S.-Mexico relations. Directed by Michelle Franco, the film follows Jennifer, a wealthy American socialite, and her tumultuous relationship with Fernando, a deported dancer. Through a series of flashbacks, the narrative delves into their passionate yet fraught connection, set against the backdrop of immigration issues. The film's stark portrayal of the challenges faced by immigrants resonates deeply, especially in light of current political climates. With Chastain's compelling performance and Franco's signature cold drama style, Dreams leaves viewers with a chilling reflection on the fragility of dreams and the harsh realities of life. Associated Press reports that the Trump administration has taken a drastic step by firing 20 immigration judges from backlogged courts, a move that has raised concerns among union officials. The firings, which included 13 judges who had not yet been sworn in, were executed without prior notice, indicating a potentially larger agenda to streamline the federal workforce amidst significant government cuts. With over 3.7 million cases pending in immigration courts, the decision to dismiss judges further complicates an already overwhelmed system. Union President Matthew Biggs criticized the treatment of these judges, emphasizing the human impact of such actions and suggesting that it aligns with the administration's broader goals of mass deportation and reducing the size of government. New York Times highlights the tension between American political figures and German leaders regarding the rise of far-right sentiments in Germany, particularly surrounding the Alternative for Germany, AfD, party. After a visit to the Dachau concentration camp, American officials, including Vice President Mike Pence, faced scrutiny from German officials who questioned their understanding of the Holocaust and its implications for contemporary politics. The AfD, which has been accused of downplaying Nazi atrocities, is gaining traction in the polls, reflecting a growing discontent with immigration policies and integration failures. German leaders' concerns about American political rhetoric suggest a fear of emboldening extremist ideologies that could echo the past. The Sydney Morning Herald draws parallels between Australia and Germany, warning of a potential future marked by rising separatism and anti-immigrant sentiment. As Germany approaches a federal election, immigration has emerged as the central issue, overshadowing economic concerns. The article reflects on personal experiences of cultural clashes and rising tensions within migrant communities in Germany, suggesting that Australia might soon face similar challenges. The author notes that the current political climate in Australia, coupled with troubling incidents of anti-Semitism, signals a need for vigilance against divisive narratives. The insights gained from Germany's struggles serve as a cautionary tale for Australia, urging proactive engagement with integration challenges before they escalate. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email. Turn the lights on.